All right, Coach, we got playoffs round one in the book. Very impressive come from behind win over a good Lone Oak team. Your take on the game?
I was very pleased with our football team. Probably the most pleased I've been in a long time. With our kids really executed both sides of the game plan. I thought that for the first time in a while we came out, we played well in the first half, even though the score don't indicate it. He ran a fake punt, which was not legal, to get 7 points. Then we turned the ball over and they pick it up running in on the ensuing kickoff. So, you take away them 14 points or 13 points, we hold them to 6 points. Really 2 drives the whole night. They had one drive in the first half, one drive in the second half where they drove the football. Other than that, we played really well defensively. And then offensively, we only ran 14 snaps in the first half, but we moved the ball. They never really stopped us. We punted once in the first half, once in the second half. So I was really pleased with that. Thought we kind of did what we wanted to do on offense. And it was just nice to know that, that people have to trick you. That's why I told our football team at halftime it wasn't they had to trick you. They had to trick you with something that's not even able to trick you to be able to score on you. So our kids really bought into that and came out second half and played well.
Well, and you kind of touched on this. Well, I think we trailed 19-7 at halftime, if I remember, and we've kind of talked about this. This team seems to really have good second halves. They've done it all year for the most part. But as you said, it looked like we got off to a pretty good start. Recovered a fumble, scored first. So you do feel like we got off to a much better start.
Yeah, I thought we was playing well in the first half. You take away the fake punt and the fumble kickoff return, and that gives us a couple more possessions. Then, when you only run 14 plays on offense, that was the tough thing about it. We drove and scored, and then we got the ball. We drove again and had to punt, but we didn't get the ball back because of all the stuff that happened. So, we learned from that. We overcame adversity for the first time. That was big time adversity right there. When they run a guy off the sideline for a touchdown from a fake punt, and I think the referee crew understands it now. I think that we've had discussions this week, and they were able to understand. We knew that the rule was illegal 2 years ago. Greenwood ran it in the state championship game against Camden, who me and Buck are really good friends, and they ran it and were able to do the same thing and get it by. Well, since then, people have complained about it and griped about it. So there's a rule on page 72 of the rule book that says you can't do that. And I knew it. I just couldn't find what rule it was the other night. And then the crew found it, and they've called and since apologized. So.
Well, that's good. I noticed, and I think we reported this in Saline River Chronicle, you literally called time out.
Right.
So you could go out on the field and talk to the official without getting in trouble, and so you did everything you could do.
Right. And there was no offense to that guy because he didn't know. He didn't know the rule had been changed, and it had been, and that's just a big turnaround in the ball game right there.
Well, let's get back to the players. I want to ask you about your quarterback, Drake Jones. Of course, Drake's been, what is he, a junior now?
Right.
I believe. But really, he's been playing offense and defense, really a good defensive player as well. But you got him back starting at quarterback, I think, since the Hembree game where he kind of came back in and took over there. And he has really just played outstanding, it appears to me, in the last several games. Talk about him a little bit.
When he plays with emotions, he's really good. The biggest drawback from Drake early in the year was he didn't play with them emotions. He played kind of laid back, kind of complacent, and now he's playing with a lot of emotion, a lot of desire. And if you see him, he's getting excited. And I think maybe playing defense is helping that out some because he's playing good on both sides of the football. And our kids are really rallying around that, because he's got some fire to him. And that's something that he's found. That's something that what didn't come natural to him that he had to work at, and he's really put a lot of focus into that, of being excited, of being an emotional leader, and he's played unbelievable the other night. We need him to keep playing well. I think that he will. I think that he's improving, and we just hopefully continue to improve in that area.
Well, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention Calais Cox all year. It's just been your bedrock back there running the football. I don't know. How many yards does he have at this point?
He's got over 1,400, but, he's our workhorse. We want to set everything up through him. He's our running game, and then, we want to play action off of him. He sets up the pass, and, he's had a great year. I think that, offensively, we've all had a great year. I think that, we've improved a lot. When we don't turn the ball over, we're a really good football team. I think defensively, when we when we play fast and play quick, we're a really good team. And we got a tough challenge Friday night. That's going to be a huge challenge for us. We got Malvern coming in, who played for a state championship game, and we got to be on all cylinders Friday night.
Well, you've mentioned your defense already, but I think that merits talking about again, because I really agree. I think they played really outstanding overall last Friday night. It did seem like, especially in maybe the first half, we had a little trouble getting off the field on third and longs. We were stopping them pretty good in third and long, maybe even one time fourth and long. I think they converted.
Well, going in, we did not want the quarterback running the football. We wanted him throwing it. And we felt like if he threw the football, we had a chance. And as you could tell, at the end of the game, when we knew he was going to throw it and we wanted him to run it, we stopped him. So the quarterback was fast. He was really fast, probably one of the fastest kids we faced. We felt like going in that we couldn't let him beat us running the football. And so we had our linebackers keying him. And if you notice, they threw a lot of post routes or curls where the linebackers would be if they wasn't. But, if we dropped back, they ran the quarterback draw for 15 or 20 yards. And we wanted to make them complete them passes and prove they could complete them. They did a couple in the first half. They didn't in the second half. They kept trying them, but, that's what we said. If you're going to beat us, you're going to beat us throwing the football. And especially after the first couple of plays when number 2 hit us for a couple of draws, after we worked on making sure they don't throw the ball, just let him throw the ball, make sure that we contain the draw, contain his speed. And that's what's so scary about this week. The kid that we play this week can do both. He can throw it real well, and he can run. Okay.
Well, it was a really outstanding defensive play in the third quarter, and I believe it was Khalil Thomas that came up. They were on about our 3-yard line, and I think they would have retaken the lead after we had taken it in the third quarter, and I couldn't really get a good view from where I was sitting as to what happened, but we ended up with a football.
Right, Jamario Thomas came up with a big hit on about the 2-yard line. Ball went up in the air, fell, and our safety Khalil Thomas came up, picked it up, and ran it back to about the 50-yard line, which was a huge play in the ball game. It was 21-19 at the time. They were going in to score, so it was just a great play for us, and really got added momentum to what we already had.
Well, let me touch on the kicking game. Looked really solid. I think made every extra point. And then I know you went for 2 once, but I think all the extra points were good, and even a couple of kickoffs in the end zone.
Yes, he's getting better. We knew that. He's always had a really strong leg. We're excited about Fernando. We just need to keep Fernando kicking the ball. Keep him being focused and keeping him understanding what he's wanting to do. And he's got a really, really strong leg. As you can tell, he was kicking it almost to the field house on extra points. And he can make them 50 yards out, 50 yards in practice. There's nothing for him to go out there and make 47, 48 yards on a consistent basis. And he just got to get where everything clicked the other night, to snap, the hold, the kick. So that's what we got to keep doing.
You already touched on Malvern, but what do you expect them to do offensively and defensively?
Well, offensively, they're going to get the ball in Tien's hands. He's a great quarterback. He's I think one of the better players we've seen this year, or maybe the best player we've seen this year. They went state championship game last year with him. He's a dual threat guy. He can throw it. He can run it. Defensively, their defensive line's unbelievable. I mean, they got some big guys who rush the passer, who can run, and they didn't make it to the state championship game last year. They're a good, really good football team, and when they made it last year, they played a really good PA team. So, the only 2 losses they had last year, I think, was to PA, and then this year they've lost to Nashville, who's a really good football team, and Arkadelphia. So I think that we got a tough test for us, but I think Lone Oak was a tough test. I think it got us ready for this week, and hopefully we can go out and we can play well, and we can contain their quarterback, and then find ways to move the football on offense.
Health-wise, how we stand?
We're healthy, except for Calix and DeQuan. We got everybody out there, and that's what we've said a bunch of. Wish we had Calix and DeQuan. This time of the year, you don't have very many linebackers to start with, and then when you lose 2 of them, that hurts you. And we've kind of put some pieces together, but we wish we had them too, but unfortunately we don't. So we just got to keep moving forward.
Well, we often talk about the fact we got one of the larger stadiums probably in this area. But I thought you had a good crowd here last Friday night, and they were pretty loud.
Yeah,
They got very supportive, and I know you and the team appreciate that, and we're going to need that again, aren't we?
Yes, we are. I think Malvern will bring a great crowd, and So I think if we bring a great crowd or as good a crowd as we did last week and be vocal and be loud, it ought to be a great, outstanding high school football game.
Well, we look forward to round 2 of the playoffs and wish the Lumberjacks good luck.
All right, thank you.